right. I promised my dad that we were going to give you a golf lesson. So that's exactly what we're going to do. And I think this will help everybody. And then I'll have some private ones for all y'all once I figure out how to get this thing to stand up and look down. Okay. The first thing is, step one, stand behind the ball and take a line. All your golf happens here. The strategy of golf and everything you're trying to do should be happening when you are standing at the bag, you can shoot your yardage, you look at your lie, all this shit. Like when you're going to hit the golf ball, you should be confident to be able to do it and only think about hitting the golf ball. That's like everybody struggles with. That's why it's such a hard game. But when you can like come up with a way to do that, like you'll feel uncomfortable if you don't go through these steps, then you don't hit that shitty shot that costs you like 3 or 4 strokes, okay, or a quarter in your guy's game. All right, you laugh at me because it's, that's what I have to do with my ADHD mind. But you also don't invite me out or allow me to play in your game because it's unfair. All right, this is what you do. You pick your club according to these 4 things. But before that, we do not calculate distance. Do not use clubs. We use yardage. Okay, number 1. If you're like, what club did you use? It's illegal in any tournament. You cannot ask what any player, even after. Okay, but you could always ask the yardage. Okay, you could ask anyone, even someone you're playing against. They don't have to answer. Okay? So number 1, we picked the club according to, number 1, the distance to the middle of the green. All right, let's break that down. The distance to the middle of the green. A would be the yardage, obviously the yardage marker or your gun or whatever you're shooting at, okay? You can putt to any pin placement from the middle of the green. It doesn't matter where it is, okay? Just getting to the middle of the green is hard enough, okay, for our handicaps. All right, and C, front pins are for suckers. Stop shooting the pin. Look at the middle of the green, especially on par 3s. Especially on par 3s. Okay? Red pins are for suckers. That's where all the trouble is. All right. Now, since we're using yardage, let's say we are 150 yards away, okay, to the middle of the green, dead center on the pole, right? Well, are you really 150 yards away? No, because there's probably wind, okay? Now, a lot of people think that the wind at your back is never going to help you as much as when it's in your face hurt you. Just because of the spin of the ball, if you really want to get into it. Okay? But for right now, to shorten this, let's just say the wind at your back, play the yardage normal. Unless you are 170 yards out or further. Unless your trajectory is going to be up over 100 feet in the air and over the treetop, is not going to fly the pin. None of us have a problem with too much distance. Okay, now when the wind is in your face, add 1 club or 2. Never add 3 clubs. If it's a 3-club wind, number 1, you have to hit a different shot. You have to hit a 60% of a lower iron and punch it underneath the wind because of an iron always has backspin. It's designed to do that with the scooping motion. It will always ride the wind up. It will never go 3 clubs further. Okay, so when the wind's in the face, it's either a 1-club wind or it's a 2-club wind, and it's never more. Otherwise, you should be punching the ball around. Number 3, uphill or downhill, okay? We're going to add 2 clubs when the wind is in your face, 5 miles an hour or better, and the pin is uphill. I don't care if it's 3 yards, 9 feet higher. I don't care if it looks level. If it's uphill, all right, add a club. Like I said, all of us have a problem with hitting the ball clean, all right? Downhill, only reduce or take a club off, all right, when it's 20 feet or above the target. Like in Florida at sea level, you don't have to worry about it. In North Carolina, in Chicago at COG, when you're 20 feet above the target and it's over 150 yards, then you have to add or reduce a club because your trajectory goes up and a golf ball flies down. No matter what, the next club should go up further and then fall straight down. Okay, when it's 20 feet down, the ball should be falling down anyway. Unless you're over 150 yards, you shouldn't even reduce it. If you're 20 feet above the pin and it's a 9 iron, You know, let's say a 9-iron is 135 for you guys, right? If it's 135 and it's 20 feet down, I hit a 9-iron, it's going to go up to its apex and it's going to fall straight down. Okay, unless the wind's in your face where, you know, it's going to make it short. The most important, the lie. I don't give a shit. If you're in the middle of the fairway, 150 yards is not in the rough. If you're in the rough and it's 150 yards, you have to add a club for the rough every time. Okay? So here's an example. Step one, when I stand behind the ball, let's say I am 150 yards out. Okay? And I'm in the second cut. I am going to stand behind the ball, right? And I have picked this club already before I approach it to hit. I'm going to say it's 150 yards. It's uphill only a couple of feet. It looks flat. We're in Florida. Okay, so I don't have to do anything. All right, I'm in the wind is non-existent. I don't have to do anything. I'm in the second cut. I need a club. That's one club more than the yardage. We don't say, oh, my 9 is this to this. No, the yardage. You should have a yardage for that. Okay, if it's 135 for your 9-iron and we have to add a club, it's 145. There's 10 yards per club. Okay, until you're up into a 3 and 2 iron, which you guys aren't. Okay, so here we go. 150 yards, not uphill. Wind is at my back, and I'm in the second cut. I'm going to add one club. It's 150 yards, plus 10, 160. Okay, we use yardage, not clubs. But if you're, it's pretty much one club. But we know our distance from the yardage because we never want to be in the habit of talking about clubs. And that is probably the most important lesson other than like routine and setting up and giving yourself the best chance to hit the ball, which will be the next video.